Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Of course, we all know who the Beatles are, but do you remember their animated show? No, I'm not talking about the Yellow Submarine. I'm talking about their Saturday morning cartoon. It ran at the height of their fame from 1965 to 1969, but it said they really weren't all that impressed with it. But no matter how you slice it, it was a powerful promotional tool as it featured full-length versions of their songs. And as for the opening themes, the first season used Hard Day's Night into Can't Buy Me Love. The second season used Help, and the third season used And Your Bird Can Sing. Unfortunately, the initial views of the cartoon discouraged the Beatles from wanting to participate in the making of Yellow Submarine. That later changed once they saw it, and that's why you get that little clip of them at the end. And eventually, a couple of the members admitted they actually liked the Saturday morning cartoon. John Lennon said, "I get a blast out of watching them," and George Harrison said, "They're so bad, they're good." Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. It should come as no surprise that Gomer Pyle USMC became a classic TV comedy. Jim Nabors was actually discovered singing in a nightclub by Andy Griffith, who then brought him on his show. And eventually, Gomer Pyle was spun off to the Marine Corps. The show was a huge hit and stayed in the top 10 for all 5 seasons. It was interesting that the military-themed show was aired during the Vietnam War, yet they never mention it. A fun yet mysterious piece of trivia appeared on an episode called Payday. In it, you get to see a close-up of Gomer Pyle's Marine Corps paycheck, and on it, he has the middle initial S. I wonder what the S stood for. I've got it. Shazam! Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. One of the most famous names in Hollywood is that of actress, director, and producer Jodie Foster. Over the years, she's received many awards, which include 2 Oscars, 2 Golden Globes, a Cecil B. DeMille Award, and more. But where did it all begin for the megastar? You guessed it, classic TV. In 1968, the young acting prodigy had her very first television appearance with her older brother Buddy, who played Ken Berry's son on Mayberry RFD. Soon after, Foster guest starred on the Doris Day Show and began her recurring role as Joey on The Courtship of Eddie's Father. In the late 60s, she landed multiple roles on Gunsmoke, and then by the early 70s, her career simply took off. In 1970 alone, she had parts on TV shows like Daniel Boone, Adam 12, and The Nanny and the Professor. In 1971, she appeared on My Three Sons, Bonanza in 1972, and in 73, The Partridge Family and Kung Fu. That era also marked her inevitable transition to the big screen. Director Martin Scorsese clearly saw Jodie's undeniable potential and cast her in not 1 but 2 of his major hits, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, and of course, Taxi Driver. All this alone would have seemed like a pretty accomplished career, but as we all learned, the great Jodie Foster was just warming up. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Did you know that Jed Clampett's mother-in-law was named Daisy Mae Moses, also known as Granny? The role was originally offered to Bea Benaderet, but they felt she didn't quite fit the character, so they gave her the part of Pearl. But it was Benaderet that then recommended Irene Ryan, and what a solid recommendation that was. And although Ryan played Buddy Ebsen's mother-in-law, in real life she was only 6 years older than him. And speaking of age differences, Donna Douglas played a 17-year-old Ellie Mae at age 30. And speaking of Donna Douglas, Levi Strauss said that she did more for the sale of blue jeans in 1 year than Cowboys did in over 100. Well, doggies. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Did you know that Jack Webb's Dragnet originally started as a radio show? When it aired on TV in 1951, both the radio show and the TV show were playing at the same time. When they produced the theatrical version in 1954, that was the first time that a movie was out about a TV show that was still on. Webb's Dragnet started its second run in 1967 with his sidekick partner, Harry Morgan. This Dragnet had a more modern-day hippie culture for Joe Friday to handle. And speaking of hands, did you know that it's Jack Webb's hands that pound in the Mark 7 Limited logo at the end of each show? That's just the facts, man. Which, by the way, he never even said.